Hello everyone. Uh, Let us start the, or you can say, resume the lecture of microwave engineering. So in today's lecture, I will discuss a very important, you can say, topic for the uh, coming chapters or coming syllabus of the your remaining microwave engineering units. So this topic is your scattering parameters. So first we will try to find out why scattering parameters are important for the microwave engineering, and what is the different things associated with the scattering parameters while we compare with the other parameters like your impedance parameters, admittance parameters, H parameters, ABCD parameters, etc. So uh, so if you see the equation of scattering parameters, you will find that it is similar to your remaining parameters, that is or others parameters, Z parameters and Y parameters. Uh, at this point, I assume that you all are well known about the various two-port parameters, two-port network parameters. So if you see the impedance parameters, it is the relation between voltage and current at port 1 and port 2. You can write down the equation V1 is equal to Z11 I1 plus Z12 I2 like that, and similarly V2 is equal to Z12 I1 and Z21 I2. So there are two ways to represent the parameters, two port parameters. Uh, One way is in the form of uh, mathematical equations, and the other way is in the form of matrix form. So when you solve the matrix, it obviously comes into the mathematical equations. Both are the same thing. Now, when you generalize the port networks, port parameters, it can be extended up to the nth port. So, when you talk about the two-port network, there is a two equations, and at least there is a requirement of two ports. One port may be the input, and other port is output. So, one input port and one output port must required for analyzing a circuit in terms of uh, parameters. So we cannot talk about the one port system. So two port network may be possible, three port network may be possible, four port may possible, and up to the n port. So mentally you should prepare about the at least three port and four port. So in microwave engineering we are going to discuss the two port, three port and four port passive networks. So if you talk about the two port network, the example is simple. Your waveguide, it may be rectangular waveguide, it may be circular waveguide, which has a one port dedicated for the input and one port dedicated for the output. So it may be for so this is the your waveguide is the example for the two port. If you go for the three port, you have a T type of sections, and it works on two principles. It may be depending on the electric field or depending on the magnetic field. So E plane T and H plane T. Actually, the technical name is E plane T. T means T section, and H plane T. Actually, there is a very minute difference in the construction. You can say one is the vertical construction and one is the horizontal construction. Later we will see the construction of E plane T and H plane T. So this is a 3-port device. If you go for the 4-port device, there is a one very interesting uh, that is called the Magic T. It is a passive components, and Magic T is a 4-port device, and you can say it is a combination of E plane T and H plane T. Hence, it is called the Magic T. So, either it is waveguide 2-port device, or E plane T or H plane T 3-port device, or Magic T. We must establish the scattering parameters for every port. Without establishing the scattering parameters equations, we are not able to analyze mathematically the performance of these devices, microwave devices. So now this is the application of scattering parameters equations in which will come in next lectures. In next lecture you can expect for the waveguides and this E plane T, H plane T and the Magic T. So this scattering parameters is the basic preparation for these 3 or 4 passive components of microwave engineering. Microwave engineering means these are dedicated for the high frequency, and the constructions are intentionally for the high frequency applications. So if you talk about the microwave frequency, that is the very high frequency, there is a actually it is a distributed type of network, and there may possibility for the discontinuity in the long type of structures, and hence due to discontinuity, very minute discontinuity, you can expect reflected waves. I am talking about the waves, means it may be a reflected voltage or reflected current. So at every port, let us suppose in a 3-port E plane T or H plane T, our 1 port is the input port and 2 port is the output port. It may be possible that our power is going to be divided into 2 equal parts. So let's say port number 1 is the input and port 2 and port 3 is the output, and our input power at port 1 is going to be equally divided at port 2 and port 3. So if your port 1 is the input port, so there is an incident wave at port 1, but there must be some reflected wave which is going to be reflected by port 2 or port 3 is coming at the port 1. So considering these 2 types of activity for every port, there is an incident and there is a reflected. So a scattering matrix or a scattering parameters is the only tool which are able to consider these 2 phenomena, that is incident as well as the reflected. Screen is not visible for the topics. I am not sharing anything, I am just delivering a lecture, then I will share the some PPT. I am audible or not? I am visible or not? Okay, I am just talking about the simple things. So okay, thank you. So this is the basic of scattering parameters, and already discussing the scattering parameters or scattering matrix is the basic preparation for the waveguide and Magic T and E plane T and H plane T. So let us see the scattering parameters which is going to be, and apart from these you must know, for example, I am taking the example of impedance parameter. So impedance parameter is equal to V1 is equal to Z11 I1 plus Z12 I2. So my question is, what is the meaning of Z11? So you can conclude that, sir, Z11 is the V1 upon I1, that is the impedance at port 1 when I2 is equal to 0. Means when you keep your second port as an open port, there is a no connection, I2 is equal to 0. For that case, whatever the ratio of voltage and current occurs at port 1 is called as the Z11. Simple. Similarly, we have to understand first at the two port what is the meaning of S11, that is the scattering parameters. The first parameter S11, then S12, S21 and S22. Once you are able to define or confine the parameters in your mind, what is the meaning of these S11, S12, S21 and S22, you can simply apply these parameters for analyzing behavior of any types of 2-port, 3-port and 4-port microwave devices. So I am going to present uh, the scattering parameters from the book Microwave Engineering, Das and Das. This is your textbook. So I'm just going to present you your textbook, and then I'll discuss one by one the meaning of your scattering parameters. So I am presenting the two equations in front of you. The first equation, that is equation number 6.18, and the second is 6.19. It is you can see that the for a two-port network, the relation between incident and reflected waves are expressed in terms of scattering parameters Sij. So always remember that the first term of S parameter is the ith port and the second is the jth port. So it is very simple. B1 is equal to S11A1 plus S12A2, and B2 is equal to S21A1 and S22A2. But since in other parameters we have a voltage and current, so we can easily understand the meaning of V and I. But here we need to understand what is the meaning of this B and A, because the complete these two equations are given in form of B and A, that is B1A1 and B2A2. So when you write in the matrix form, it is B1 B2 and your parameters is S11, S12, S21 and S22 is going to be multiplied by A1 and A2. So you have to focus on the S11, S12, S21 and S22. But before this, there is a requirement to understand the meaning of B and A, because without defining the B and A, one cannot able to understand the meaning of scattering parameters. Now understand the meaning of B and A. See here, you can see that we are discussing about the normalized power or normalized amplitudes. So we can see that here the amplitudes are normalized. The incident and reflected wave amplitudes of microwaves at any port are used to characterize microwave circuit. So this A and B are called as incident and reflected wave amplitudes in normalized form. So now let us let us understand what is the meaning of the normalized form. Now see here, the first parameter is given as input power at the nth port is defined as Pin is equal to 1 by 2 An square. So it is 1 by 2 An square. So An can be defined as here, because if you see uh, the power equation, it is in the terms of either voltage or current. But here at the place of voltage and current, not only voltage and current, there is a voltage as means P is equal to your V into I. So when you put I is equal to V by R, it is V square by R, V square by R. But here there is a no term of impedance type of things. Let us suppose we cannot say that our A is the voltage term and B is the A is the incident voltage term and B is the reflected voltage term. We cannot say. So the question is the first P in is equal to 1 by 2 An square and PRN, that is the reflected at nth port. Nth port means I am taking, let us suppose if it is a one port, port number 1, then it is P1, PI1 and PR1. So I for incident and N is the port, and correspondingly there is a A1, A2, B1, B2, B3. So you must remember that A is related to the incident power or incident wave, and B is related to the reflected one. So here you can say that An and Bn represents the normalized incident wave peak amplitude. Normalized means it is divided by your you can say impedance in such a way that impedance never comes into the equation of Pin and Prn. And Bn is the normalized reflected wave peak amplitude at the nth port. So you can see in the next equation that if you see here, in a two-port network we can express the normalized waves in terms of normalized voltages. So A1 is equal to B plus divided by under root Z0. So when you make A1 a square, V1 is going to be a square, V1 square by Z0. So once your V1 square is going to be divided by Z0, it comes in the form of normalization. So in A1 we have already the terms of Z0. So in the equation of Pin and Prn, there is no term for the impedance, that is called the characteristics impedance. This equation also can be written as V plus is equal to V1 minus V1 minus, because you know that it is called the standing wave. So V1 is the standing wave. A standing wave means it is the algebraic sum of reflected plus incident. So incident is V1 plus and reflected is V1 minus. So we can easily write down that V1 is equal to V1 plus V1 minus. So V1 plus is equal to V1 minus V1 minus. But it is not true with the current. It is not true with the current. So in terms of voltages, writing the your normalized wave amplitudes is only taken by the standing wave, which is the summation of incident voltage and the reflected voltage. When you see in the form of current, if you see the current here, it is I1 is equal to I1 plus minus I1 minus. So here there is a term of minus, but it is not in voltage term. Voltage term is going to be sum and current term is going to be minus. The reason behind this is because we are taking the voltage at a particular port, that is the algebraic summation. But in case of I1, there is a problem of direction, because reflected wave is always in the opposite direction of the incident wave. So for summing this, there must be requirement of a negative sign either with the I plus or with the I minus. So for simplicity, we'll take the reflected wave as a negative type. So here we have written that I1 plus minus I1 minus. So this is the meaning of your normalized parameters. And when you find the total net power flow into any port, it always the incident minus reflected. So net power into the port is Pi minus Pr, and net power output at the output port is Pr minus Pi. That is the opposite. So net power flow into any port is given by Pi minus Pr, where Pi is equal to 1 by 2 Ai square and Pr is equal to 1 by 2 minus Ab square. Now this 1 by 2 comes from the relation of V peak by under root 2, because we are taking the peak voltages, not a RMS voltage. When you take the RMS voltage, it is going to be root 2. But when you are taking the peak voltage, it is going to be a square V square peak divided by under root 2 square. So it's going to make 1 by 2. Because if you are taking simple RMS, that is your VRMS into IRMS. So VRMS into IRMS, for that there is no need of 1 by 2 term. But if you are taking the peak voltage, if you see here, it is written that where now see here, where AN and BN represent the normalized incident wave peak amplitude and normalized reflected wave amplitude wave peak amplitude at the nth port. So here I am taking the normalized of peak, not for the RMS. So when you are taking the normalized of peak, it is going to be in terms of B peak under root 2. So 1 by 2 is coming from this B square peak by under root 2, and this is B square peak by under root 2 square means 2. It is not a normalized. When you divide by the Z naught, it's going to become the normalized. So if you see this relation, the first relation is B1 is equal to S11A1 plus S12A2. So B1 is the normalized reflected wave peak amplitude at port 1 is equal to S11A1. A1 is the incident wave, normalized incident wave peak amplitude at port 1. A2 is the incident wave peak amplitude at port 2. Like that you can define all this A1, A2 and B1, B2. Now for finding the S11, we must keep our A2 is equal to 0. So A2 is equal to 0 means there is no any type of wave coming at port 2. So to make the any any wave coming from port 2, that is only possible by a matched load. When you see the laboratory, see in lab, there is a one more passive component, not a component, it is a simple matched load device. So when for any point, if you want that you want to keep your reflected wave as minimum as possible near to 0, you can put a matched load, and matched load has a impedance which is generally equal to the characteristics impedance. So matched load is if you let us suppose you have a E plane T or H plane T, so and you are putting one matched load at a particular you want to make it 2 port, so you want to close one port, so that port can be closed by a matched load such that there is a no reflected wave, and your all incoming power from port 1 is going to be obtained at port 2, where port 3 is not disturbing you due to the concept of matched load only. So you can see here the S11 is defined as B1 by A1, A2 is equal to, this is very simple. In mathematical terms, you can define S11, S22, S12, S21. S11 is B1 by A1, A2 is equal to 0, S22 B2 by A2, A1 0, S1. This is very simple. But understanding of parameters is also interesting. So your S11 is called the reflection coefficient, because reflection coefficient is generally defined as amount of reflected wave with respect to the amount of incident wave. So S11 is B1 by A1. B1 is related to the reflected and A1 is related to the incident. So where there is a ratio of B1 by A1, it is defined as the reflection coefficient. So your reflection coefficient may be at the port 1 and maybe at the port 2. So the first is B1 by A1 is the reflection coefficient tau 1 at port 1 when your port 2 is terminated with a matched load, means there is a no reflection at 2. So A2 is equal to always 0. Similarly, you can define the diagonal friend of S11. Diagonal friend of S11 is S22, that is B2 by A2. It is again a reflection coefficient tau 2 at port 2 when your port 1 is terminated with a match load. This is the definition of S11 and S12. Now the reverse one is S12 and S21. So S12 is B1 by A2. So B1 by A2 is, B1 is the reflected and A2 is the incident. So attenuation of wave traveling from port 2 and port 1 means if you are taking the A2, it means your wave is incident at 2 and it is reflected from the 1. So how much quantity is going to be attenuated, because here the port is going to be changed. The S11 and S22 is reflection coefficient because incident and reflection is at same port. B1 is for the port 1 and A1 is for port 1. So it is S11 reflection coefficient. But when your wave is traveling from 2 to 1 or 1 to 2, now it shows the how much your wave is going to be attenuated in a traveling from port 1 to port 2 or from port 2 to port 1. So these diagonal friends S12 and S21 is the attenuation of wave traveling from 2 to 1 and 1 to 2 when the other port is going to be 0, that is A1 is equal to 0. Now see what is the meaning of A1 is equal to 0 here. So A1 is equal to 0 means only we are giving the incident wave at 2. There is no incident wave at the port 1, but there is no match type of load is at port 1. So when it is coming from 2 to 1, there must be a reflection, and it shows how much waveform is attenuated through the waveguide or through any 3-port or 4-port device. It can be calculated by the ratio of reflected wave at the second other ports, you can say other ports, that is B1 by A2, and it is similar true for the B2 by A1 when A2 is equal to 0. So this is the actual meaning of the S11, S22, S12 and S21, and the meaning of A and B. Remember that A is the normalized wave amplitude of the peak parameters, that is peak voltage or peak current, and B is the for the reflected one, it is the normalized wave amplitude, that can be say the wave peak current in normalized form. And obviously it can be make for you can also remember one thing, that since the incident and reflected waves have both amplitude and phase, so S parameters are always a complex numbers, because we have to talk about the phase and amplitude both. So where there is a phase and amplitude, either we can represent in the Cartesian form or in the polar form. When you go to the Cartesian form, there is a J parameters, so there is a real part and the complex part, and it can be extend up to the nth port. For the nth port, it is B1 B2 up to the Bn and A1 A2 up to the An. Now see, there is a one example for the multi-port n linear network. Here you can see that it is a nth port network. So nth port network is your, yes, anyone want to share something? If any doubt, you can ask. Have this topic covered in your electromagnetic field subjects as parameters? Okay, then fine. So actually see this one. Okay, so this is for the nth port, but nth port is just for theoretical types of parameters. We go for the maximum of 4 port network, that is the magic T uh, device. So here there is a uh, uh, example of an bn normalized divided by under root z o n for the nth port, and then net input power. For net input power, remember that it is incident half an square minus half bn square, and power dissipated in a termination of port n is the reverse of this, that is half pn square minus an square. And when you take common of this bn square, it is going to becomes 1 minus tau n square, because tau n is equal to bn by n. So you can convert in a different types of formula for analyzing the waveguide magic T and E plane T and H plane T. This is the remaining topic for the next lecture. Actually, we need two to three lecture for waveguide E plane T, H plane T, and the magic T. And before that, we have also discussed some your transmission line, because we just talk about two-wire transmission line, but we have to discuss the strip line, micro strip line, and the planar transmission lines. So a number of planar transmission lines are required, because but you should only think about the there is no need to go in detail derivation for the strip line and micro strip line. And fortunately in our antenna lab there is a design antenna designing machines. You can design the strip line and micro strip line in your own lab if you wanted to if you want to design. So now after this, one important thing is some losses. Actually we have already discussed the losses, and these losses can be discussed in terms of your S parameters, because now you are aware about the S parameters. S11 is the tau 1 reflection coefficient for 1, S22 is tau 2, and S12 is attenuation, S21 is the attenuation. S12 is from 2 to 1, always remember that 2 to 1, last to first, and S21 is 1 to 2, attenuation traveling your wave from 1 to 2. So these parameters, that is first is called the insertion loss, which is defined as P input divided by P output, can be stated in form of A1 square by B2 square, because now Pi can be written as 1 by 2 A1 square. Means we are taking that the port 1 is the incident and port 2 is the reflected. So A1 square, and P out means it is B2, that is reflection from the second port, because it is traveling from 1 to 2, and 1 by 2 and 1 by 2 is going to be cancelled out. So this can be written as 20 log 1 by S21. Now see why there is a 20 log, because this square term is going to be coming at the multiplication term with the 10. So it is 20 log A1 by B2. So A1 by B2 is 1 by S21. A1 by B2 is means b2 by a1 is s21. So this insertion loss can be written in terms of s12 parameter like 20 log 1 by s12. Similarly, there is a transmission loss or attenuation can be written in form of because this attenuation is input minus reflected, means what is the net going to be uh, net power going to be for your particular uh, waveguides. So it is pi minus pr, net flow of power, and p output. This is the ratio. When you put again in the term of a1 and a2, a1 b1, and this is p output, p output is in the term of b2, you will find that it is 1 minus s11 square divided by was s12 square. So similarly, you can do one thing, you can take common of pi. So it is going to be 1 minus pr by pi, and then this is going to be p naught divided by pi. So p naught by pi is s12 square, and 1 minus pr by pi is 1 minus s11 square. Similarly, there is a reflection loss which next can be written in this form, and return loss. And based on this, you can expect at least one numerical in your examination. Sometimes in your examination, the S parameters is given. The all four S parameters is given, and the question is find the insertion loss, transmission loss. Transmission loss is also called the attenuation, reflection loss, and the return loss. So these four losses are important for the waveguides for the theory point of view as well as the numerical point of view. You can take one example of here, one example best for this. And then there is a property for the S matrix. So phase shift property of S matrix. S matrix is always a square type of matrix, a square matrix. But as per your new syllabus, there is no need to derive and remember these properties of S matrix. Only understanding of S matrix and understanding of these losses are sufficient from your exam point of view. If you want to go in detail for the scattering matrix, like other matrices, it has some 4 to 5 properties which can be helpful for you for analyzing a particular passive components of a microwave engineering. So from this lecture, you need to remember these losses and the meaning of the S11, S12, S22 and S21, and the meaning of A1, A2, B1, B2. That's all. This is the summary for today's lecture. The meaning of S parameters, all 4 S parameters. However, it can be extended for the nth port, but if you can you are quite able to understand the 2-port network, you can extend it up to the nth port easily. There is no problem. And understanding of the parameter a1, a2, b1, b2, and understanding of the various losses which is in the form of S parameters. So this is all about today's lecture. If you have any doubt, you can ask now. Any doubt? Okay, no doubt, good. And this lecture, I am going to upload this lecture on your college YouTube channel. If you have any doubt, you can listen, or you can understand this lecture by listening again and again. And then after that, we'll very quickly in next lecture we'll see the strip line and micro strip line, and then we'll go for the E plane T, H plane T, and the magic T. Thank you for today's lecture. If you have no doubt, now you can leave the class. Thank you.